strategy, production.
So good evening, everyone, and thank you again for making it out for this conversation we'll be having, ad reviews. Thank you so much for always making our time out of your busy schedule. Really, really appreciate you all. So today, as always, we'll be, of course, speaking to an ad, which is the Indomie advert, the latest one that is making wave everywhere. And like I was reliably informed, the ad was, first created, that same, storyline was first created many years ago. And it has been recreated with a lot of, flavors.
See, Mama do good. Mama do good, thank you. Mama, why everybody they always call you Mama do good?
Because I love picking them well.
Mama, why all the picking for we yard they come our house every day?
Because them too like the taste of Indomie. And them sabi say I dey like to cook am for them all the time.
Call you Mama do good. Yes, now, because they know I always express love to them. I see different flavors. Yeah, you can say that again.
Life of the party. Carry your Indomie jollof. Special lady. Take your Indomie Oriental. Pepper lover. Your Indomie pepper soup. Don't worry. I didn't forget your onion chicken.
Mrs. I miss home. Take your Indomie crayfish.
Thank you.
I'll go first. So yeah, there's so much when I look at this ad, first thing and word that comes to mind is nostalgia. It really taps into that nostalgic feeling and all the great memories that millennials today would really resonate with. And the history, all the banger campaigns, the equity that the brand Indomie has in Nigeria, they really built on all of that, and it just took that very powerful sentiment and emotional connect as an anchor for this comms. That kind of helps us perhaps reverse engineer what the strategy might have been. I would have, or what the brief might have been. I would have liked to know whether the ask from the client was to use such an asset, or they just give them carte blanche to look. We want to connect with the millennials today. We want to use our range of products, find a way to make it happen. Or they said, oh, we have this, then. Anyways, but I think the agency did a brilliant job in. Sometimes you don't need to build from scratch, especially when you are an iconic brand like Indomie, and you're trying to be relevant with perhaps a different target audience rather than what they've been doing before. They've been trying to connect with kids, but now they're saying, look, we have such an opportunity to connect with this older category that have grown up eating Indomie. In fact, when I was reading some of the comments, they say, Indomie generation has grown up. And it's that's the reality. Perhaps also in when they did their consumer survey, they realized that a chunk of not just the customers as people that buy, but also the consumers are millennials. And historically, they've been focusing on young people. Perhaps this is a time to we know that you are consumers as well. You millennials that grew up eating Indomie, you still love Indomie. This is Indomie for you in all its glory. And I think it was also very deliberate that they chose to launch this on BBN, Big Brother Nigeria, right? It is not a platform for kids. They were very deliberate about who they wanted to show it to. So in that sense, the strategy was on point. It was clear about who their target audience was, and they really tapped into that from the comms to the channel mix, the route to market, and all of that. And we've also seen with how they've been doing their engagements online, offline as well. It's the on-ground activations and how they brought that to life. And it's just, I mean, it's just about a month now. They launched about a month ago. So I'm sure there's other legs to how they want to bring it to life and really take it forward. So that's on strategy. Then on the use of motion pictures, I think, again, they didn't try to overcomplicate it. They wanted to be true to the reference material, which was the Mama Do Good, the first one. So they didn't want to do too many things. It's almost like you could reference the scene they were referencing to the previous one from coming from the markets. Yes, I think the first 10 seconds, 8 seconds where they were in the modern supermarket pushing the cart, that was different. But that was just to bring it to home that this is how we shop today. The camera angles as well, it was just really immersive. You felt like you were part of the story. You were going with the mom. You were there in the mall. You were there in the kitchen while she was serving, and you could really see yourself connecting to whichever variant or the flavors that was brought to life with that. So it was really, really great. I think the production quality was at a point I was a bit confused what they wanted to do. I realized that they didn't want to stray too far from the reference material, but I also think that they even though, for instance, the kitchen, it was a bit bland, and they wanted to make it that this is not a rich woman's kitchen; it's a everyday type thing. But yeah, I couldn't get my eyes off the wallpaper. I think you check that screen. They wanted. I'm sure when they were thinking about it, they said, let the focus be on the spread, the different, but the wallpaper brown and something. It was. I don't know who. Yeah. There's something just about that. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too particular about the details, but yeah, it was just something off about that. Like making a modern kitchen, white background, white tiles, whatever. It's just do your thing. Storytelling, I think that was really spot on. I'm sure the copywriter would just like, I don't have much work to do here. I'm just doing the same thing that she said before and changing it and giving it a twist. But it was easy to follow. You could get it. The voice, is this where I talk about voiceover? I think I'm skipping some points. The woman's voiceover was really good. I think the choice was very good. So when you're talking about the different flavors and twists to it, I was saying, I think you should have let Mysteria go first because she was in transit. I'm just doing that. She has dropped off now. Leslie should probably be back. I preferred the female voiceover. That was really good. were some of those things that you're saying. Yeah, the pepper lover, that. It was really, really, really on point. You could almost stretch around and say, "Give me my own." It was very, very natural. The lead voice on the male that was doing the Mama Too Good. I was like, why is this guy singing like? I don't know. Maybe it was the producer's friend. I just like the voice. The voice was not. It wasn't giving. I think that was missed opportunity there. Because again, if you look at the reference material, the lead kid voice there was it was very not communal. You could sing along. You didn't want to sing along with this one. It was, I think, missed opportunity there. So that would tell on the execution excellence of it. I think there were bits of the production that could have been done better. It could have just stayed authentic to what they were trying to say. It's the same kids. In fact, again, some of the comments that were saying that were on there were saying that, were they the same kids that were used? Are they now grown up? Just stay true to them. They've moved from wherever house they were to another house. This is 2024. Make it look like a 2024 kitchen. You don't have to, as much as you're trying to tap into nostalgia, we get it. Let there be a microwave. You know me say we're not gonna say that the same amount too good. Like, just stay authentic. So I think there were missed opportunities there. Integration of brand assets. I mean, we've been about it all along. It's not just in terms of the logo, the brand product. It's the rich equity and that Indomie has. They use that to great effect. Optimum use of sound. I think I already referenced that as well. Female voiceover killed it. Our expression was really good. Tonality is great. Missed opportunity with the male one when it was doing the sing along. Cinematography, yes. I love the point of view, director point of view, the switching. It was really smooth. Also, I think someone must have listened to a lot of thoughts about between the third and the fourth second switch to the next scene. They really use that, or change the camera angle. They really use that very well with the cinematography. And like I said, regarding the communication, the rollout, using Big Brother as a platform for the launch, teasing it a little bit and saying, where are we going to launch Indomie next, and getting just that excited, and people were already guessing. Like, it was a good way to seed it. And the talk, the fact that it's nostalgic, people are just talking about it. Again, where I think they're missing out here is the engagement. People are talking, but the brand is not talking back. The brand is not fueling that conversation. So again, missed opportunity when it comes to that community management across their platforms. So yeah, that's my review of the ad. Thank you.
I was intentionally doing onlooking, so you don't call me, but yes, that didn't work. But yeah, I think again, allowing our Gamoiwa go first, it's unfair, because he's almost as if he's gone into my head and is just taking it out. But I'll try as much as possible to also share my point of view slightly different. But I mean, he's really captured a lot of the key points. I think on strategy. Again, I'm not sure what the brief was, but also seeing that it was an ad that was created to run on Big Brother, and also looking that a lot of people who participate and who watch Big Brother are, of course, millennials, families. It looked more like they wanted to connect with families and connect with millennials who actually grew up with Indomie, right? Because the interesting thing is, even this millennials who grew up with Indomie, they also still love it till today, right? I'm sure if I check my corner, I would also see some packs of Indomie somewhere, because it's always that quick fix, when you totally don't have anything to eat. So I think that connection, wanting to really connect with families and connect with young people, and also recognize the role that the brand has played in the lives of these young people, which is where the nostalgia also comes in. So I think it's relevant in that sense. The insight is also quite strong, timely, because of the platform and the reach of the platform that they've also decided to, to air it or to feature the ad. And there's a lot of conversation. I think like Miwa also said, I also saw the comment around, oh, the Indomie generation has grown up. And it's true, because, people actually grew up with this brand and are still true to this brand. It shows how strong the equity is, and also how strong the brand, how relevant the brand is to families, right? Whether it's kids or young adults, it's a family brand. And they've also smartly done this again by also showcasing the versatility of the product, right? Showing all of the different flavors, and recognizing that a lot of young people today, even though community, right, is still big, within that community, people still have their individuality. Everybody is still different, right? And you can see that they try to bring that to life by showing that even though, we're one network, we're one community, but everybody has different flavors to life, or how they see life, or how they approach life. And they've used that using the product and the SKUs that they have as well. So it does that job, emotionally connecting, but it also does a very strong reason to believe job as well, to clearly show the range of Indomie as well. In terms of use of motion picture, I think it's I'm not an expert in this space, but I think that it's also quite decently executed. You can see the energetic, the playful nature. Similar like how they say, adults, grow up, but when they do things that they used to do when they're kids, it's like it brings out the child in them. When it came to that moment of also enjoying the meal and connecting, you can see how everybody was playful and all of that. So I think they were able to capture that in a way that is really vibrant and smooth, and it kind of engaged the viewer, because you just keep watching it, and you want to see where it takes you to. So I think the execution on motion pictures is also quite decent. Production quality, I also think it's high. I mean, it could have been better, to be honest, especially with a project like this where you really want to make a strong statement, but it was also really good. With the vibrancy, with the colors, the food looking appetizing. I think Indomie has always been known for that, in the way that they show, the food, it makes it really yummy. In fact, in my head, I was saying, oh, I haven't tried this one, I should try this, so also the modern setting of the kitchen, you can also see how appealing it is, just further reinforcing the brand image, and also the quality and the trust that people had always had, around the brand. From a storytelling perspective, I think it's a very simple, relatable story. Once you see it, you get it. As long as you're Nigerian, you're young, you grew up with this brand, you get it. Quick preparation, the narrative is clear. It really communicates the message. I think the missed opportunity, like Mewa really, really nicely said, is actually then taking it a bit further, because the TVC is just one spot, but I think there was an opportunity to even think about it in a more extended manner, in a more 360 manner, to see how to drive that engagement, to drive that nostalgia, to drive that UGC content, having people tell their stories, having people share all their experiences around the brand. Because when that happens, you see that the story then becomes really authentic and becomes culturally relevant, and also very insightful, because what happens is, even within that conversation, the brand can pick up some nuggets and then use that in the way that they also express the campaign as always on social content. I think that is something that maybe they are still working on. I mean, it's a new campaign, but I think that's something that would have taken it to the next level, because a lot of people may also have missed the ad, right? So you want to really drive that conversation around Indomie. You can't talk about noodles without talking about Indomie. And if you go on Twitter, for example, once you have a perspective on Indomie, you're definitely going to have people say different things. You're going to get different perspectives, around Indomie, how people eat it, when people eat it, and all of that. So I think storytelling could have been stronger beyond the TVC. I'm looking at it as a campaign. targeting families. Then the next parameter, I think it's execution. From an execution point of view, I think it was well graded. I think it was, you could also see that it's quite top notch. It's quite clear. So I think execution wise, yes. I mean, there are a couple of things that I think we also alluded to that a bit when I heard the towards the ending part where the guy came in and the sound, the music. I also think that could have been better, because I think they were trying to do two things at the same time. I think they were also trying to, whilst they wanted to connect with a lot of younger adults, they also didn't want to lose the kids, in that sense. So you could see that even the music was okay. This song, are they trying to reflect a song that maybe as a child you grew up listening to, and then as an adult you can listen. So the music part wasn't quite clear. I think if they really wanted to, connect with young adults, they could also go with the style of music or the format of music, or music that is relatable and catchy. Because what you realize is that a lot of the songs that were even made, if you look at Afrobeats back in 10, 15 years, were songs that when they blew up, even kids will sing it. So as long as it's good music, it resonates with even young adults. Even kids would also, sing it. It just depends on how you craft it and how you ensure that, it's easy to sing to, or it's easy to dance. So I wasn't sure what they were trying to do there, but I think that there was a bit of it wasn't quite smooth at that part of the TVC. And then for the brand assets, I think it was well featured throughout the ad. I could see it clearly. In fact, even within the room, they also had some small cues, the colors and everything. As much as possible, they did well in integrating the brand assets without it also looking overly too much. In terms of sound effects, yes, I think Indomie also has a history of that. They could also hear that integration, the cooking process, the reaction, the close-up shots, sound, with the close-up shot around the meal as well. So it kind of also highlighted that. I mean, it had that sensory effect, some words, right? Where you could feel it as you're watching it, you could feel it. So that also did come out quite strong. I think cinematography, I spoke about it a bit earlier when I was talking about the motion picture. I think the camera angles, the reaction of the young, the mature kids, or the young adults, the close shots of the noodles and all of that. It was quite exciting to watch, and it just further highlights that or amplifies that nostalgia. When you watch it and when you just go through the story. And then lastly, in terms of if the communication was effective, I think on effectiveness, he also did a pretty good job, because you could clearly see the key benefits. You could clearly see the convenience with how quick the preparation was. You clearly see the taste with the expressions on the face when, they take a spoon. You can also see the family appeal with how we connect everybody together and unite everybody together. You can also see the versatility of the brand, where there's something for everyone. No matter who you are, no matter your personality, no matter your way of life, there would always be, if you're somebody who shows somebody pepper, you're known for showing people pepper, there's a pepper flavor for you, there's that flavor, there's that flavor. So that versatility was something they were able to push very strongly, because over time you realize that a lot of people don't also realize that there's actually a lot more with the variants beyond maybe the onion or the chicken. So it was a good way to really show that the brand is also, there are also other options and flavors that you can explore. So overall, I would say it's a good piece of communication. It's a good reminder of the role the brand has played in families, and it also sort of reinforces the brand image and also that trust that people have had in the brand over the years, and also the quality of the product itself. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, you want the lady in the house to go first? If she can speak to us now.
That's right. You got it right. Mistura, let's go.
I really agree with all of the contributions so far, especially in terms of the strategy now. You know, I agree that it brought back that feeling of, oh yeah, this was what we used to sing back then. So it was I really like that they keyed into like an ad. I really, really want, or I look forward to Nigerian brands doing more of this. Bringing back old ads. Just bringing in all of those things that like the high standards that were set from the past. Because when you look at some of the ads that we have these days, you don't really see all of that there. You don't see all of that, a brand telling a story that continues over generation. And what I mean by that is the fact that they went back in time and they showed us how the TA already grew, or how the brand has grown with the TA. And that was one of the things that I really liked. The core messaging of when you look at the first scene, the shopping scene, and then we transition to that scene where mother and daughter are walking on the streets. My major issue is the over explaining. There was a lot of over explaining going on, and let me tell you what it is. When the guys, they drove past and then they said, Mama do good, and then the daughter goes, so they still call you Mama do good. It killed it watered it down so bad. Because first, you're targeting people who are grown-ups, right? You don't have to over explain whatever your concept is to us. We are going to get it. Even if people don't get it at the beginning, that this is the old Mama Do Good ad, they will get it at the end. But the fact that the girl now asked that question, that was too much over explaining. And I think the ad would have done so well without that thing. Personally, for me, in terms of storytelling, that kind of watered it down, because you did not have to say that, oh, or she did not have to ask that question. And then when we now move to when the mom starts to serve them the different variants of noodles, one of the things that another over explaining was when I know that they actually wanted to focus on the different types of Indomie and how it caters to different types of taste buds and all of that. But I don't think that there were better ways to have shown that, or to have expressed that. It could have been pop up on the screen to show the different types of noodles. But the fact that she kept, we know that this woman is somebody who grew up with the kids. She has known them since when they were young. She knows what they like. She didn't have to start saying all of these things, like say, oh, because you've missed home, or because you like pepper. All of these things were over explaining, in my opinion. It could have been pop up on screen, something, a graphical representation of whatever it is in the noodles, or even giving us a close-up shot of the noodles so we see the different variants. But saying it in a way, it just felt like they wanted to push the narrative that she knows these kids, and to keep reminding us that, oh, it is the same kids from the former Mama Do Good. And I think that in a way, right, it felt like they weren't too sure that the audience would remember. And I sensed a form of doubt. They weren't so sure of the strategy, even though they knew it was going to bang, but they were not so sure, because all of the over explaining, the tiny things that they were doing, just felt like backup plan in case people forget that it is the same Mama Do Good. And I think that is, it was insulting to me personally, as one of the people that saw the first version of the ad, because I know that anybody within the TA group, or the group that saw the ad when it was what it was, like, back in those years, would have still gotten it without all of those tiny details, extra over explaining. So there's that for me. That was like one of the things that I really noted in the ad. And even though it is relatable, they integrated the product into all of the story. I like there was it Muiwa that gave the feedback of how they brought in the normal Nigerian kitchen, right? I like that they brought that, and even in the way that the noodles was prepared, even in the, should I say, the packaging or the arrangement, they made it a bit realistic. Because I remember how noodle brands used to do their ads where they will put so much garnish, and it feels like how many Nigerians have actually cooked noodles like this. So it was a bit relatable. I really like that. But what I just feel was that they weren't so sure of the emotional connection that the TA would feel towards the ad. So that backstory was too much. And I feel like that storytelling would have been tighter without all of these things. They didn't give us a chance to say, oh, or come to that realization. It was almost like they just wanted us to see from the first scene and say, oh, it is Mama Do Good. They didn't give us time to actually go into the story and come to that realization ourselves. So that was one thing that was really, really painful for me in terms of storytelling. But yes, if I go back to production quality, I mean, to me, I don't know. I had to go and watch the previous one from those years. Quality, it didn't feel modern to me. You can, if you go back version, I didn't see any difference. Almost like they wanted it to look so much alike, and I don't know, the editing could have been better. I didn't see a lot of vibrant um grading, even though the house was, it seemed Nigerian and all of that. But I didn't see the modern, because if you are trying to show us that these people already kind of leveled up or they've grown up, right? We should at least see that even in the storytelling and in the, okay, it was there in the storytelling. Sorry about that. But I mean, in terms of the production quality, I did not see that in the production quality. It didn't feel modern. And another thing I wanted to point out when it comes to the execution, and I think I'm just moving around because I moved from storytelling, I went back to production quality. Okay, back to execution now. I think that the execution could have been better. I like the transitions. I like all of the facts that we could see we're working with different forms of angles. The close-up shot was right, even when we're transitioning from the kitchen to when she was serving the kids. Even I really liked how it was going, how they did it from our own POV. But then I don't know if this falls under execution or storytelling, but the acting was poor. The woman's acting was very, very poor, and I don't know if I was the only one that noticed it. It was poor, even in the way she delivered the lines. And they always say it because I always express my love to them. It was bad. It was bad. The daughter too was bad, because when you look at the the woman that did it in the first, no, like that woman was slick. She could act. This woman, I don't know if it was old age that affected the delivery, but it's the way they always express my love. Abi, how did she say it? It was just, nah, it could have been better. So there's also that. And last one would be use of sound effects. I agree with Emeka when he said that the music could have been better, because you are showing us that these people, they are grown up. We should have seen a grown up version of the song, not a I'm trying but forcing it to still be childish type of sound. So imagine an Afrobeat version or I'm a piano or something that just shows that, oh, Indomie has actually grown with these kids and now they are kind of in tune with what they like at this point because they are young adults now. So that did not come through in the sound effects at all. On this note, I'm going to drop my mic.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thank you. That was insightful. I like the perspective you brought to the whole process of reviewing the ad. Thanks very much. So the chairman, let's hear from you.
Okay, so first of all, thank you everyone for showing up. It's not easy with our busy schedule. And I would say that um, we've done justice to this review. That's the truth. In fact, I can't even wanting to, impress, still say anything. I mean, Like, you guys nailed it. From what Muiwa said about strategy, to his pointers on storytelling, to what Emeka said in the best use of motion pictures, and of course execution excellence. And Mr. now brought some small, let me use the word, using the binoculars to pick out and fish out certain things. And I like that a lot, because as a creative, part of our job is to also see what other people are not seeing, In fact, when she was talking about the woman, the actors, I tell you, one of the things that I picked, first of all, the art is beautiful. I love it. I love it because it's got this nostalgia. Like, everybody connects with it. The fact that, they took us back in the days. And guess what? If you go on YouTube, you will see that people had to go and watch the old one. The moment you see the new one, you want to go back again and see the old one. And even when I watched, was when I discovered that it was done in 2011, and that is some 13 years ago. And going by what Mr. Rad said about the models, and that is addressing, and I didn't want to start talking about the same things that you guys have talked about, but just one aspect that I picked up, going by what Mr. Rad said about the models, and I think is basis of motion picture is the choice of models. Okay, that woman, the lead actor, they should have looked for, since you want to replicate what has been there and fast track it to 13 years later, we should have a personality of that first woman in the new present day lady. Secondly, the age difference. An ad that was done 11 years ago, 13 years ago, 2011, fast track to 2024, that's 13 years. Those kids, none of them is up to 10 years. I mean, the first ad. Now, if you should put 13 years on, let's say 8 years, you should have something in the neighborhood of 23, 22, thereabout. But the models we have there, most of them, in fact, the little girl that woman had at the beginning of the ad, for the first ad, that little girl is not up to 6 years old. Now, add 6 or 7 years to 13 years, that gives you about 20 years thereabout. And that lady we have on this ad, this present day ad, is nothing less than 25 years old, if not 30. So I'm wondering what happened to our, choice of modeling and stuff like that. Yes, at least 30. So that is the disconnect for me. But aside from that, it's a beautiful piece of creative. And I hail which agency did that? Hook, right?
Yes.
Brilliant work from Hook. Indomie did a very beautiful work on Noah's Ark did an on that stuff in 2011, but these guys resurrected something afresh, which I salute them for that. But aside from that, I think we've done justice to some of the things that were right and the things that were not right. And if you ask me, in a scale of 10, they got it right 8, 9 thereabout. They got it right 8. Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, so strategy, production.